on, traders? Happy Saturday. Let's talk about a little magic internet money and cover some Ethereum. Try to keep this video to 10 minutes. I say that every time, so let's see if I can actually do it this weekend. Yesterday was pretty much what we were expecting. We talked about getting that push up to, we were looking for $59,716. It went up to 59,546.50. So came up a little bit short of the entire previous day high, where this rotation that we were looking for here didn't quite get it. From that move, I was looking for this Gartley. I was hoping for a rotation of the range over the weekend and then back up to the CME gap. And the fib time came in really nicely. Like the fib time on this for this, Gartley from the move up gave you the 1-to-1 perfectly at C, right? And then from here, from the X to the B, you had the 6184R move down. So I was very happy with it, and your 1-to-1 here, So this was a Gartley that I wanted to really play out well. I thought it was going to. It just, I think we've since invalidated the potential for this C leg. To be honest with you, that doesn't mean it can't still come down to the bottom of the range here and give you a nice long. And the idea behind this was to just run the lows of the range, remain range bound over the weekend, which I think is what we're going to do regardless. I'm not really anticipating a break of the range. And then move our way back up to the CME close, which was about 58,445. So if I'm given this opportunity, I think that this is a nice long off the low of the range. Is the Gartley valid? It's a little sketch now, just because 886 is your requirement for C as as high as it's going to go. And if it's close, usually I'll give it the nod, but this is one of those things where it's very, very close to A. So just kind of, I'm not really trading for that. You do have some like low time frame harmonics that you can kind of spot. These are things that you're going to be looking at and saying, okay, is this valid? It could be, this is like a cipher-esque look to it, you just want to see the 786 here, and that 786 would be coming in somewhere around like $57,000. A little bit of support there, but for me, I'm not really interested in taking any longs at the highs of the range here, just because we're at the highs of the range. You're basically playing a breakout into a macro 1618, a daily, and then you have the monthly R2 up here. That would be quite a bit of resistance. So what we've done is yesterday we swung fell the highs here. I went short off of this. I think Ollie did as well. He put it as you got to play the statistics, and I said absolutely. I caught a really good short. Like, it was a very nice short. I traded it all the way down to the previous day value area low. I took half my profits. I put my stop above the high here on the swing fail right here, and from there it was above this wick. From there, took 50% profits here, and then it ran my stop this morning. I woke up to that alert, patiently watched Bitcoin to see what it wanted to do, to see if it was going to continue higher or not. And it doesn't look like it's going to, at least not it wasn't in the immediate short term. So I didn't take any trades off of it. I'm not in any positions, just kind of relaxing for the weekend, but keeping an eye on it, really watching the weekly open and previous day point of control. Well, 2 days ago, about $59,000. Want to see if we can flip that. That previous day data is now expired. I just wanted to keep it up to show you guys the range cycle from the day before, because that's what we were looking for. And that was the context for that long we talked about. So, yeah, you've swung failed the highs once again. It's still operating as resistance right here. You can see that at 59,546.50. Want to see the weekly close tomorrow. See if we can, close up in this region above the point of control, above the VWAPs, holding this weekly open so that it doesn't flip to a weekly level of resistance, because you got to remember, if we go out to our weekly time frame, let's do that real quick here and delete some of this stuff. If we lose the weekly open right here, our open is at 58,990. What you will have is you'll have a weekly level of resistance, right? So this will be flipped into a weekly level of resistance, and price would be below it. And I think that would put pressure down to the bottom of the range. So it's going to be an interesting close. I do think it's an important close. Now, Early signs of any kind of weakness today that might give you that move down to the bottom of the range for a potential long is going to be loss of the daily open, in my opinion. That's just the easiest way to classify it. You lose that, it means you're losing this low, and then you can target these lows down here. From there, I do think it's an opportunity, guys, to have a range play again. I'm going to play this as a range until it isn't. You can play it as a range between the monthly R1 and R2 if you want. You can use your weekly data, whatever you really want to use best, whatever you're judging with. I can't really fault you for it because I think the moves are going to be fairly easy and simple to get, much like this one was. We wanted to see the reaction here at the highs coming up into this region, if you recall, because we said we're not really bearish, but we're not bullish either because we need to see the reaction up here because as of right now, we are just putting in a high, a lower high, and then we need to see if this is another lower high. So this does need to make a higher high, and the only way to make a higher high is really to take out the all-time highs. Now, taking out 60,200 is a pretty good start, but you have to recall that this is resistance right here. So that would be one of those things where just need to keep an eye on it as prices, pushing this weekend. Bitcoin has been one of those assets over the run that is not afraid. It seems like they're not afraid to push the price over the weekend and do a runaway gap. So bear that in mind. If this gets through this region, I'm not trying to fade it. I'm not seeing any major divergences. That's what I want to see is there sell pressure coming into the highs here? And I'm not seeing a lot of sell pressure. I'm not really seeing a lot of buy pressure either. The buying pressure is not overwhelming. So it's a low volume weekend. And I'm just going to trade it as such, try to be a little cautious. Obviously, I have my spot holdings from much, much lower. Those never really go away. They stay in cold wallets. So still expecting higher prices overall. Would not mind, I call it my doomsday plan, in the slightest happening where we get that move down into the $52,000 region. But if that move never comes, guys, we got to be prepared to take the trades accordingly and target the next area. So our next area, you could be looking at this either way. I was looking at this as a potential Gartley right here, and this is the only other harmonic that I'm considering at this time on the high time frames. Would be, because I have this pitchfork, and this is kind of what got my brain working this morning because I was waiting to see the break of this pitchfork. I just took a quick XABCD off of this, and what you'd have here, starting off of the highs, right? You'd have a pretty deep retrace telling me that this could be a butterfly, and then we'd be eyeballing, up to, I believe it's the 1.272 extension. And that does put us up here in the $65,000 region, which is a target. So if I'm going off of basically how I did my pitchfork, because the median it was struck here very nicely, and if I extend this out, I like the way it extends out, and the median is well respected here. So it tells me that this is probably a decent pitchfork. I'm waiting to see resolution of that. If we get resolution to the top side, this is going to be one of my initial targets, even though it doesn't line up perfectly with my high time frame boxes. Based on Fibonacci levels, this would be an area of interest just because it is a fib expansion level with other fib expansion levels as confluence. So the butterfly is a very interesting one. If you guys wanted to check out the butterfly, let me see if I got the website up real quick. This is your butterfly right here. You can see that you need a 786. For the B leg, C leg would be 382 to 886 with a 1272 and 1618 to 2.24 expansion level to the upside. Again, another Scott Carney gem. So take a look at that. If you guys are interested in it, that is your bullish case scenario. And that would be the opposite of what you've got going on right here in the Doomsday folder, right? My fun folder. That would be the opposite of this Gartley essentially. So because we're looking for a 786 and at least a 1.272 on the Gartley here for the D leg. Now, when do we know the Gartley is invalid? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And it's really going to come with a break of the range here. So it lines up, it's ideal that it comes with a break of the range. And so what that means is this is invalid if the 886 is taken, which means that if we get through this box right here, this Gartley is invalid, and then I would be looking for the butterfly. And so that's how I'm trading it at the moment. Should we lose support here, I'm looking to the lows of the range for a potential range trade. And then I am going to be hoping to get down to the D leg here. And if we get to D, I am willing to take that long. If we break the range, I'm targeting right here to the $64,400 level. Up to, we have another box up here with high time frame, confluence. We got our 1618 coming in here, and you've got your 166 at about $66,000 starting in there. I believe these are the boxes as well. We'd be looking for this box, but anything really over this area is going to be, it's all inside the golden pocket. Let's put it that way. Your macro golden pocket, your 1618, 166 extension in log scale. So it's kind of just an area you got to be, wary of. But once you get through, I do think the move up to that $73,000 level will happen, and then $85,000 after that. So that's what I've got for you guys on Bitcoin. I hope this was super informative and helpful for you guys, and you guys enjoyed it. So looking to see if we can hold weekly open going in tomorrow's close, or if we get a push up. Really just eyeballing this level right here at $61,167. Up to the 61,530. So I guess we've got like a little $400 box here. That would be the immediate area of interest for me, because I think that's the last step before we probably make a move to at least $64,000. But ultimately, the high time frame resistance to me is coming in at 255 and $68,000. So we got to trade the price action for what it is, regardless of which way it goes. So I've got alerts set, and given any kind of opportunity to play a position, I will gladly take it. Ethereum. We've talked about Ethereum, guys. We said be careful with Ethereum, but it is getting that rounded bottom action, and it's finally getting up out of the old February range here. You'll have to excuse this chart. It's not as clean as they normally are. But I'm going to keep it the way it is for now just because I think it's easier. You do have Ethereum coming in with that rounded bottom we talked about. We said if it's going to do anything, it is going to look like this to get out, and that's exactly what it did. It's come up here. Everyone's going to call this a head and shoulders, so this is the... So what we're looking for on Ethereum here is basically this is the high of the range here. We've been looking at getting out of the February monthly range. It's been operating as resistance, so what we want to see is we want to see this level held as support. So much like Bitcoin, we're looking for this weekly close here. This weekly open, where does this come in at exactly? At 18,000 or 1848.10 on Binance. So if we can get a closure above that level going into tomorrow, that would more or less look good, especially if we can hold this as support and not give it back up. Obviously, you have the POC and the 2-day here at 1814. Anything below that, and that would be a little troublesome going into the close, I think. It's not the end of the world. You still have this rounded bottom structure, but I would just be a little cautious at that time. Otherwise, if you can get this close outside of the February range, if you can get it above the weekly open, you can start to look for the weekly here at 1933.53 again. Anything above that, and you guys know that I am looking for all-time highs. Obviously, you've hit the all-time high here at, what is it, like $2,050. There is some resistance still coming in right around 2,081. But looking for $2,279, $2,500. Then I'm looking up to $3,081 after that as macro targets. To the downside, obviously, supports are remaining the same. Looking at 1814 to hold as support, but really want to see this level right up here at 1840 to 1848. Want to see this hold and get flipped, to be honest with you. But yeah, your POC of the range coming in here would be a good area to hold at that current daily open. Anything below that, though, and yeah, you just really don't want to lose the 2-day at 1719. That would actually confirm this kind of a structure here where you just kind of, formed a bearish pattern. You have the shoulder, you have the head, and then you have the shoulder. I'm not looking for it, though, guys. It's one of those things where I prefer not to pattern trade these things. What I'm looking for is market structure. And what you have here is you have a rejection at the highs, you have a pullback to macro support at the 382, the first target of our bearish bat setup, if you recall. Oh, right there. So it was a valid bat. It did push it down. You've got your first pullback. You should be taking profits in this area. This was also the area we were saying it needs to hold so we can get long. What happens if you hold this area long enough? You go up to the weekly. We're still holding this area now. So more or less on Ethereum, you can't be too bearish on it. What you are looking for is a more than likely move up, it seems like, as I like this structure quite a bit, as I think a lot of people were probably getting bearish in this region, looking at this as a head and shoulders, and now you've got the opportunity to basically leave them on the sidelines, and I think Bitcoin could even do something similar to that. So just got to be cautious here and not fall in love with one direction. not the band, but the trading style. And just remember that, you know, if this dumps or pumps, we're going to make money either way. So as of right now, you got to give the nod to the bulls as they are holding support. We're printing a bunch of money, even though I would like a lower prices just due to what I see on some of the oscillators here, like the daily time frame. You know, you'll notice that you do have some like divergences that had formed, but you know, in really bullish markets and conditions like this is your daily. Um, these don't play out as well. You know, I mean, these are just not going to play out as well. Let's get rid of everything on the chart here. I know you guys get tired of seeing me with everything under the sun um, on my charts, but in overly bullish conditions, things like this don't really play out as well. You get the pullbacks, like this was a decent pullback, but it's just not going to make a bigger retrace. But again, we still have not made a higher high. Needs to get above. I guess we'll just look at it as the monthly R2 here. Get above that, and like I said, we're targeting $64,000 to $66,000 initially. There is resistance all the way through, in my opinion, 68. But anything over that, I'm looking for 73.7. And then from there, we're looking up to about 85 grand. So, you know, things are getting interesting in the market. This is one of those moments where it's, you know, patience is going to be your best friend. If you have positions from the low of the range that you're holding, you're probably in the best position right now. If you took shorts at the high of the range, you're not in a bad position by any means. You just got to remember to manage that trade accordingly, and go from there. So Ethereum and Bitcoin kind of giving you similar looks. I think that they actually look better today. There was just not as much sell pressure up here at the highs coming in like there was before. Before we were getting really nice rejections. We're just not getting the same kind of rejection up here. It just tells me people aren't interested in selling these highs. The only thing that stinks is it's the weekend, so you can always make that claim that, well, the volume's low because it's the weekend, so we don't really know what traders are thinking. And to a degree, they're right, but at the same time, you have to take trades, and if you can manage your position accordingly and manage your risk like you're supposed to, you should be able to take these trades without any worry or concern, because you're going to take losses as a trader. It doesn't mean you should trade to take a loss. It just means if the probability setup is there and you want to take the trade, you shouldn't be stopping yourself from doing it if you've got all your other metrics in line, or if it meets the criteria for everything else that you've been trading off of, all of your trading rules. Take the trade. You know, I mean, don't let the weekend stop you in that regard, unless that's one of your rules and you don't trade on weekends. But you're going to miss moves if that's the case, because crypto goes 24/7. So this video ran almost twice as long as I said it would, per the usual, but I like to think that I gave you guys at least some stuff to talk about and think about. I hope you guys are having a really nice weekend. It's beautiful here finally. It's a little chilly, but the sun is out. It's shining. Gonna do some stakes up. Enjoy some time here at the house. I won't be as active in the Discord over the weekend. If you guys want in the Discord, let me know. I have no qualms with getting you guys in there. It's a free Discord. It's all about education, just from a guy like me. There's Ollie's in there, and a couple other really good traders. Ersko putting up really great charts. And then we have a competition on Femex starting here in the next 3 days. So there is a trading competition in 3 days here coming in. I believe my team now has, let's see how many people we've got. We've got 13 people on the team, hoping to get this up over 20 guys. So if you guys want to join the team, the top teams will receive a prize. I do plan to host a separate chat for the team, so we can talk about our day trades, outline maybe some strategies for people out in the Discord so that everybody can get involved and maybe learn a little something, take high quality trades, maybe earn some Bitcoin over the time, and then if we can place and win, we win a prize. So doesn't hurt you at all. You do get a $90 bonus if you join Femex using the link in the description down below. And then when you want on the team, just let me know. I will send you a link to my team and we'll get you rocking and rolling. That's really all I've got there, guys. I'm not really trying to shill too much. I'm just letting you know this is what we're doing and planning to do. And I wanted to say thank you guys again. We've hit almost 1,600 subscribers. So much appreciated, much love, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great weekend.